Hi, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel. I'm going to demonstrate how to make this really fun and pretty Valentine door banner. Now you can also put it on the wall inside of your home if you like. So let's take a closer look. I have one small piece of fabric up here at the top and then a larger piece in the middle. If you want to simplify this, you could make this all one fabric piece. At the bottom, I have something called prairie points. You could also leave those off if you like. The hearts and the letters here are appliqued on. Really simple technique. I will show you a beginner's technique for putting it on. And I also put these cute little heart button shaped buttons in the center of each of the hearts. Now you don't have to do that either. You could use other shaped buttons if you like. So let's get started. Now the approximate size of this banner is 14 by 20 inches. The top strip is 3.5 by 16.5. The body is 15.5 by 15.5, and the back is 16.5 by 21. For the prairie points, you need 4 squares that are 5.5 inches squared. You're going to need heavy iron-on interfacing, 16.5 by 21. You'll also need two-sided iron-on fusible web. Then you're going to need a piece of ribbon. I used 3/8 inch wide ribbon, 16 inches long. Then you have an option of 3 large heart buttons. You'll also need a wood rod, and you can get these rods in craft stores, and they're in the section where they sell all the wood products. This wood rod is about 36 inches long. You're going to get one, it's less than 1/4 of an inch, but slightly larger than 1/8 of an inch. It's really narrow. And then you're going to wind up cutting this rod down to fit. So I'll go over more of that later. Now, if you're not sure how to cut out fabrics very well, watch the video Tips for Cutting Quilt Fabrics, and I go over how to use your rotary cutter and your ruler in case you don't know how to do that. Now take your fabric that's going to be used at the top of the banner, that's this piece here, and the body fabric, and you're going to bring it front sides together and place it on one edge. And make sure when you place it that you've got a little bit of an overhang at each end. Okay, and I'll show you how to cut it to size in a moment. Once you have it laid out, then stitch 1/4 inch along here. Now at your ironing board, you want to press this flat and then open it up and press again. Now you're going to trim your edges straight. So take your ruler, lay it on the edge of the body fabric, and then you're going to trim that edge straight. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Now, take your fabric for the back and lay it down and smooth it out. Then take your interfacing, your heavy iron-on interfacing, and lay it on top. Now, you want the shiny side up. Then that's where the glue is. Then take your banner and center it in there. Then you're going to cut it to fit exactly. So take your ruler and lay it on the edge of your banner and cut it. Go around all 4 edges. Then set the fabric aside for the back. So just take it away. And then you're going to turn your banner over. And you're going to fuse or iron on this interfacing. You want to do this at your ironing board. Do not do it on your cutting mat. Now read the instructions on your package of interfacing. Remember, it's heavy iron-on interfacing. And it's probably going to tell you to place a damp cloth down and use a hot iron with steam. Now read the package so you know how long to hold your iron. So you're going to hold it down. It's probably going to be somewhere between 10 and 15 seconds. Hold it there for that long, and you're just going to keep moving it, holding it down for that number of seconds. You're going to go all over the back of it. Then set it all aside. Now I'm going to go over the applique letters and hearts that you need to make. You can either draw your own letters and hearts, or you can go into your computer if you have one, go into the word processor and select a font style that you like and enlarge it to the largest size possible, and then you can print it out and use it as your templates. Now, if they don't come out very large, you want them to be anywhere between 2 to 3 inches wide by 3.5 inches high. So you're probably going to have to even enlarge them more. So if your printer has an enlargement button on it or option, enlarge them till they get to this approximate size. Or if you want to do what I did, is you can freehand draw. Now look how sloppy those are, but I wanted mine to be kind of not really cute, really perfect. I wanted them to be kind of not symmetrical. You have several options. Your fusible web, this is my fusible web sheets. They come in sheets, maybe they're 8 by 10. There's 2 sides. There's sheets of paper on each side, and in between is a thin layer of glue. Read your package so you know what side to draw on. Mine says to draw on where these grid lines are. Before you start to draw your letters, I want you to look at my little letters here. Here's my LOVE. When you're doing applique, machine applique with fusible web, you need to look at your letters and determine which ones need to be in reverse. And the O and the V is not a problem. You don't need to reverse those, but you will need to draw your L and your E in reverse. So when you're done with the applique process, it comes out correctly. If you don't do these 2 letters in reverse, then your letters are going to be backwards. Okay, when you're done. So take your template that you've created and lay them down. Now remember, you're laying them down in reverse on your fusible web paper. Then go ahead and trace around the edges. Do all of your letters in hearts like that. Now let me go over the hearts real quick. You can either buy heart templates. You can get them in your fabric and craft stores. They come in a package of about 6. Now I've had these heart templates for probably over 20 years. I've used them a lot. Or you can draw your own hearts. Now the hearts that I've used, the small one here is 2.5 inches wide by 2.5 inches tall. And then the medium one is 4 by 4, and this large one here is 5.5 by 5.5. So that's the approximate size you want to draw your hearts. Take your fabric. Now here's the front side of my fabric. Here's the back. You're going to place all of your applique letters and hearts on the back of your fabric. Here's my letter L here. When you cut it out, whenever you cut all of your templates out or your drawings that you did on the applique paper, when you cut it out, you want to leave 1/4 inch like I did here, all the way around all the edges. Don't cut on the lines just yet. Then you're going to place it on the back of the fabric. Now you need to remove the paper on the back. So if you're having problems getting the paper to come off, just take a straight pin and score the paper and then begin lifting it off. So you'll have this sticky side there. So you want to make sure the glue is not coming up with this back paper. Then lay it down and finger press it down real good. All of your letters, all of your hearts. Now, after you've got it all finger pressed down, you're going to cut it out and cut right on the lines. Cut everything out. Now take your banner fabric. Here it is. And take all of your applique pieces and you're going to begin placing it on the banner. Now, the grid line paper is still on the back. Don't remove it just yet. Take your large heart and place it approximately in the center or so. Leave an inch of space between this strip of fabric and the top of the heart. And then begin placing everything else. And you're placing your hearts and your letters on a diagonal. And just kind of shift them around till you kind of have them centered. Now, when you're placing everything down, you want to leave at least an inch to an inch and a half of space between the edges of your applique pieces and the raw edge of the banner. And keep shifting it around till you like how it looks, till you have it placed correctly. Remember, leave plenty of space up there. Now, it's not permanently on yet, so once you have the layout done, then go ahead and remove the paper. And again, you might have to score it so that the corners come up so you can remove it. Make sure the glue is on the fabric. Then take it, lay it down. Now, don't press it down just yet. Lay it back down to where you think it was. Take all the paper off. Place it. If you need to shift, you still can. Then once it's all placed, you like how it looks, then finger press it all down. Now go through your presser feet that comes with your sewing machine and look if you can find a foot in there that is an open toe foot. See all this space in here? The needle can be seen very clearly right here. This is going to make it easier for you to see where you're stitching along the edge here. Now, let me show you the stitches on my banner. This is the applique stitch that I chose. Now, look at your decorative stitching that you have. If your machine only has a zigzag stitch, then use your zigzag stitch. You can either use the same color of thread or a different color. It's up to you how you want to do it. Always test your decorative stitches out on some scrap fabrics to see how you like it. So then go around all of your hearts and letters and applique them on. Then when you're done with that, take your let's see now, your squares here. Your fabric for the squares. And you're going to do this again at your ironing board. Don't do it on your cutting mat. So here's your square. You're going to take your square and fold it corner to corner. Then press it with your iron. Remember, do it at your ironing board. Then fold it one more time and press. Do all 4 squares like that. Then take your squares and begin placing them on the edge of the banner, right there on the edge. Now at the corners, you want to kind of stay away from the corners a little bit because it's going to be awfully bulky in the corner with all of this there. So pull it away just a little bit from those corners. So line them up. They're overlapped like this. This one's on top of this one. This one's on top of this one, and so forth. Place pins to hold them there. Now up here at the top, you want to take your ribbon and you're going to place it up here like this. And place it about an inch and a half away from the corners. And go ahead and place pins at each end of the ribbon to hold it in place. Now take your fabric for the back and you're going to place it front side down on top. Now go ahead and line up all your edges and pin all 4 sides down. Now let me switch to my little diagram here. So you've got everything layered now, and you want to pin all around all of your edges. This is the top up here where that strip of red fabric was, and then down here is where your prairie points are. When you're pinning it, you want to leave an opening up here that is a little bit larger than your hand so that you can reach inside later and turn it right side out. Now before you start stitching, I want you to be aware of how I've pinned it. Again, you have pins around all 4 sides. This is where I'm starting, and at my ending point I have 2 pins so that I know I need to stop. So I won't stitch over my opening because I have done it in the past. So this keeps you from having to rip stitches out later. All right, now you're going to do a 1/4 inch seam all the way around. So this is where you start. You're going to stitch down to this corner. When you get a 1/4 inch away from this edge, stop, leave your needle down, and stitch down to the next corner. Now at every corner, always leave your needle down, lift up that presser foot, and turn your fabric so that you can stitch down the next side, all 4 corners. Now you're coming around here to where you need to stop. Now always at the ending place and the starting place, do a few stitches back and forth to secure it. Now before you turn it right side out, down here, I want to show you how to cut your corners. You're going to cut all 4 corners. You're first going to cut across here. Then you're going to come here to the side and cut towards there. Come over here and cut towards there. Leave about 1/8 inch of space right in here at all 4 corners. Then you're going to reach inside and slowly begin to turn it right side out. And be careful you don't pull your stitches out here. Now let's look at the finished banner here. Now we're not done yet. We've got a few more little steps. Once you get it turned right side out, you need to take something with a point on it, not your scissors. And you're going to go into all of the corners and poke them out as much as you can. Now don't poke too hard because you don't want to rip your fabric. Your rod, that 36-inch rod that you bought, you need to cut it down. So you want to lay it up at the top, and you want to cut it 1/2 inch shorter than the width of your banner. So put a little mark. See that little black mark there? I put a little mark there, and my wonderful husband cut the end off for me. He just took a really sharp knife that he had and cut it. You don't need to drag out your chainsaw, okay? Because it'll cut pretty easily. Then take that rod, and at your opening up here, you're going to push it inside and place it like that, kind of on a diagonal. Leave it in the middle. It's in between the 2 pieces of fabric now. Now up here at the opening, you're going to pin it close. So fold the raw edges in 1/4 inch and place pins up here. Continue pinning around all 4 edges. Then you're going to stitch. So start in one corner, and you're going to stitch along this edge, slightly less than 1/8 inch. Go around all 4 sides. You're going to go in there, and you're going to begin pushing on the rod. It's pretty easy. It'll shift pretty easily. Push it straight like this and begin pushing it up near the top. Once you've got it up here at the top, you're going to put your zipper foot on your machine, and you're going to stitch real close to the edge all the way down. And then you're almost done. Now look at the hearts. I've put these decorative buttons on there. These are crafting buttons, and you can get them in craft stores. They come in large packages. I bought a package, and I had all different sizes of hearts in it. Now this is just an option. You can put round buttons in there too. And then you're all done. Isn't this really cute? I thought this just turned out really, really nice. I hope you learned something new in this video. If you're interested in other novelty projects, check below your YouTube screen for the video links. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and check out my Facebook page. Thanks for watching. See you next time, and happy sewing. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click on the thumbs up button, and don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. If you haven't subscribed yet, click on that red subscribe button down there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Click on the bell so you can receive notifications about my latest videos. I'm Cheryl, and this is Scotty, and this is Manny. See you next time, and happy sewing!